Let's talk mountain bikes. Now, every single part on your bike has been designed and redesigned over the years, but there are some specific parts. The parts you hold, the places you stand, the places you sit. These parts, the grips, the pedals, the seat, the tyres, the relationship with the trail itself, are incredibly important, and their designs are changing subtly over the years. Millions and millions of hours of testing have gone into these parts to make such simple things work perfectly for you. So let's take a dive into why and how they're important, see what we can find out. Let's get it. Now let's start with the saddle, the place where you sit. Let's relax into it. Now these things come in all shapes and sizes, just like our back sides. But let's think about our relationship with the saddle when we're riding. Think about how your leg kind of brushes the side of the saddle as you're pedaling, as you're making a corner. It's a balance point on the bike. You use this a lot more than just sitting down. So all the different designs and different styles of saddle are really important. And some of those ergonomic changes have been made that are subtle but are very important and can make a big difference to the way we ride. These things come for touring, for road riding, for mountain biking, of course. This is an enduro specific saddle. There's downhill saddles. These things come in such a variety that it can be a little bit confusing. One thing I'd suggest if you want to find the right saddle, maybe go into a shop. One, there's lots of people in a store that know a lot about saddles, but there's also a lot of bikes with saddles on to sit on and try. So that can be really useful to finding something that's comfortable for you. But remember, something that's comfortable to sit on in the shop itself isn't necessarily ideal out on the trail. So bear all of that in mind. Take a look at all the things that could work for you, but get the saddle right and you can have a much nicer day than if you've got the wrong one. Okay, let's talk about the pedals. Now these are probably the most complicated contact point to understand. They're certainly the place where the most obvious development has taken place. Instantly, you've got the decision between something like a flat pedal or a clip pedal. And that could be confusing at the start. What I would say, whether you're starting out or whether you've been riding quite a while, is maybe try the thing that you're not using. So if you are riding a clip pedal all the time, maybe try some flats and vice versa. This can be really useful to understanding how you work with the bike and what you can learn new on the bike, because you can ride the bike very different depending on what pedal you're on. I actually run something very similar to this mallet, where I'm clipped in all the time. I've got a very tight cleat on mine because I don't want my feet to come out. I've obviously got special requirements. But what's really great about this pedal is it's so versatile. You could still ride the bike in the car park when you're messing around with your mates, or if you're out just doing a few jibs, a bit of street. These pedals still work pretty much perfectly, even though they're a clip pedal and you can be riding them in just a normal pair of flat trainers or riding shoes. So they're really great and you can get an awful lot out of them. Something like this stamp you could also get in a different size. Go for a much bigger footprint if you've got a bigger foot or you just want a really big solid platform. So the pedal can be really complicated, but if you get it right, it can make a big difference. And there's an awful lot to learn from yourself and about the bike with the pedal and making some changes. So enjoy it. Next up, grips. Now don't be fooled by these simple tubes of rubber. They look so simple, but this can make such a massive difference to your ride, especially if you get it wrong. Now I've tried everything over the years when it comes to grip. Trials riders, like I was back in the day, were always trying different ways of holding the handlebars, using very, very thin trials foam or even road bike tape wrapped around the tube. And it's amazing the difference that just the thickness of the grip can make to how much control or not control you've got over the bike. Currently I use a GA3, which has got a little paddle on it. That's on my bowhead and it just helps support my wrists when I'm riding on that bike. I think this is Blake's favourite. It's the G1. This is the Enduro World Series grip and it comes with this really lovely petrol effect that I like. and that is a really comfortable grip. That's what it's all about, I guess, comfort, but you can get an awful lot out of the bike through getting that comfort right, but also getting the right choice. So something like a GFR that is a gravity grip is a narrower grip, which means you can have a much more subtle connection with the bike and not get huge amounts of arm pump. So you can see just by changing the thickness and slight resistance in the material can make such a big difference. This is something worth playing with. Don't believe me? Take your grips off and go for a ride without them. Now, if I was going to get one point across to you today that would make me feel good that I've done my job, it would be getting you to understand the technicality of your tyre and the importance of choosing your tyre. Not this particular one, because obviously it's lacking in some things. But think about the tyre. All of these contact points are your contact with the bike. This is your bike's fingerprint. It's literally grabbing the trail as you ride down it. So this really is your relationship with the trail. And they do come in all shapes and sizes, all sorts of thicknesses, all sorts of rubber compounds. It's really about understanding what type of terrain you are riding on. So if you ride in the UK and you're riding really muddy trails, you're going to see something quite often like this that's got great big chunks, it's gripping hold of the mud, it clears easily. A very common looking tyre in the UK, but in the States, maybe in Colorado or something, you'd see a trail tyre that looks quite different, might have a much lower profile in the centre there, so it's got much faster rolling speed, but still got knobbles that bites on the corners. These things look pretty similar, but they're very, very different. Obviously as well, you put something in these tyres or take something out. The pressure, the air pressure in the tyre makes a big difference how it works. So this really is a part of mountain biking that you need to learn and understand, but you can really enjoy it. And when you get a tyre that's working, it feels absolutely fantastic. I love it. It gives you so much confidence and you can enjoy your ride. So give this some time. It's worth diving into. So there you have it. Think about those tyres. Think about those grips, really think about those things. It can make a big difference. Your pedals, have a play with those and make sure you get yourself a comfy seat. It makes all the difference. Thanks for watching today. Let me know in the comment sections down below if there was anything I missed or anything you'd like to add. Remember, there's other mountain bikers reading those comments and it might be useful. So we'd really appreciate your thoughts there. On social platforms, if you would like to share and get other people to see our mountain bike videos, that would be great. Give us a like, that helps do the very same thing. And until next time, I will say goodbye.